This is a special episode of the BonVlog. Recently, I posted on my Facebook and Twitter about having you viewers post any questions you may have about myself or the vlog, stuff you may be curious about. And you post a question and I answer it in a video. The first question was, what was the first song I heard that got me into the music I like today? Which is really hard to answer because my memory sucks. For anybody that doesn't know, I don't know how you don't know, but there goes the tripod. If you don't know, I'm really into rock music, mostly classic rock music. If you haven't noticed, I'm wearing a Pink Floyd, official Pink Floyd merchandise hoodie. You know, I have a Pink Floyd hat. I've got Rush hats. I've got Rush t-shirts. I've got Pink Floyd t-shirts. I've got Guns N' Roses. You know, Led Zeppelin. Into all those bands. I can't really tell you the first song I heard of classic rock that got me into that, because I honestly don't know. I don't remember. I just know listening to classic rock in general, because my dad would always have that stuff in the car. Like, because when you're that young, you don't control the radio, your dad does. At least my dad did, anyway. And so, he'd have that music on, and, I'd just sit and listen and be like, this is nice, I like this. It's catchy, it's cool. The guitar solos, drum solos, bass riffs, whatever. It all sounded cool. And as I listened to it more, because my dad would have on, like, the classic rock music, and my mom would have on, like, modern music or, like, 80s pop music. Because she was more into, like, Madonna and, whatever was out in, like, the 90s, which was, like, Britney Spears and Christina Aguilera and Backstreet Boys, NSYNC, when they first came out. And like kids in that era, I should say, I listened to it, I'm not gonna lie, back in the day, that's kind of gross, back in the day, I would know the words to Backstreet Boys songs, to Britney Spears songs. I would listen to it and I'd be like, I like this, not having any idea what I was listening to, because I thought I was listening to good music, but in reality, I was listening to shit. I later found out was shit, because I was like, hey, this other music is better. And so, as years progressed, I started listening to pop less and less until, like, I rarely listen to it anymore. Occasionally I'll hear like a pop song and I'll be like, that's catchy. I won't listen to anything else by this person, but this one song has my attention. Example, Katy Perry's Hot and Cold. I hate pop music with a passion. I don't want to waste a video ranting about my hatred towards pop music, but basically I don't like it. I find it very boring, unoriginal. It's all the same. It's all the same. And with classic rock and bands like the ones I mentioned, I could listen to it and hear something different. But yeah, with classic rock, I knew I was getting something different every time. And then, as the years progressed, and I listened to like more and more classic rock, and listened to classic rock that I listened to back in when I first started listening to it, I realized that there was a lot of poppy classic rock, i.e. Boston, the band Boston. A lot of their songs sound the same, and they are a very poppy classic rock band. I mean, listen to like More Than a Feeling or Smokin', like they all sound the same. But yeah, mostly into the classic rock thing. I mean, I'm not like all about that music. Like I listen to rock music from like the 90s till today. Like I like Nirvana. I like the Foo Fighters. I like Dream Theater. I like what the hell else is there? Coheed. I'm not a fan of the new Coheed album, but I like Coheed. I mean, I like stuff that kind of reminds me of the classic rock music without actually copying it in a way. But that's, I mean, I like bands like that, like bands that sound like the classic rock bands without actually copying them or really trying to be those bands. I also like a lot of metal music, a lot of screaming music, and like death metal, I guess, if you want to call it that. Who, I know the first person that got me into that music was my friend Rob, who I know way back, like when I was still listening to like pop and still developing my interest in the classic rock stuff. He was listening to Slipknot and Cradle of Filth and him, and he got me into those bands. Like I remember, like I heard Nymphetamine by Cradle of Filth, and I liked it, even though like it was all screaming and it was heavy. I was like, this is good. This is like angry music, which is good when you are angry, and then you can just listen to it and be like, I'm angry, he's angry, let's be angry together. And so he got me into that music, like those kind of music. And then years later, my friend Neil got me into like I don't want to use the term emo, but bands like screaming the bands that kind of like alternate from like nice harmonious singing to screaming singing in the same song. You know, I know they don't like to be called emo, or at least some of them don't like to be called emo, but that's the term that comes to mind. He got me into bands like Escape the Fate, Atreyu, Bullet for My Valentine. I don't really consider Bullet emo, I consider them metal, but he got me into those bands. And so that added to my musical catalog. And then I got into like I started getting into girl bands. I had mostly been into like guy bands. I would listen to Heart, because just like chicks that rock, that's awesome. They're not just strutting around on stage, singing about stupid things. This is Heart. excluding, you know, sellout Heart from the 80s, but, you know, like, in the 60s and 70s, you know, Heart was pretty badass. But, I got into, like, modern rock girls with Paramore. And they're really good. Like, it's not just like, a girl with a band in the back. It's not just like something like Taylor Swift. Taylor Swift isn't a band. It's a pop star. Like Paramore is Paramore. Like, it's the band as a whole. It's not just Hayley Williams and those 4 other guys. So I really like them for that. And even though she may write or they may write love songs, they're more like, you know, like angry love songs, and they're written in a way that's different, that is relatable. It's very sarcastic in a way, as opposed to like any pop star today. You know, they're very straightforward. They don't like try and show symbolism or metaphors in any way. They're just like, I love you forever. You know, they use like the same adjectives over and over. You know, Paramore and bands like Paramore. I'm not saying just Paramore, but bands like Paramore, you know, tend to, you know, go outside the box, or, you know, alter the box a little bit and stuff like that. But that's basically the music I like and why I like it and how I got into it. So I hope that answers your question there. This is going to be a regular thing, as long as, you know, people keep having questions, stuff like that. There will always be these vlogs, which I'm going to call them. Viewer-oriented vlogs. I'm going to call them vlogs. To coin the phrase, maybe, we'll see. But yeah, as long as somebody has something to ask, I'm going to have a video about it. And if not, you know, until something exciting comes along, y'all gonna have to wait on those videos. Tomorrow is New Year's Eve. All gonna be going to Jen's for that event. It's gonna be up all night, doing some Seen It or something like that, as is every year. And then passing out on the couch, and then going right back to bed at home, kind of thing. So, I have reached my destination. All is well. So, until next time, keep your shoes clean.